At the turn of the century, mobility usually meant a bicycle or horse and trap. The ordinary bobby used his feet, while the chief officer was driven about by a sergeant who jealously guarded his position as driver. The first official police cars were used as staff cars, to drive the chief constable or other high-ranking officers about their business. Some forces started to purchase motorcycles and sidecars. It was soon realised that they were an asset, particularly in rural situations, where they were able to cover large areas very quickly. A pre-inspection and briefing before going out on patrol, and a not city police rider and bus in background with solid tyres. The regulars didn't have it all their own way. This special constabulary mobile unit lines up and shows off to the camera. A map is always an important asset, and so is the ability to read it. A 1949 Berkshire Police Mobile on a Triumph Speed Twin, and a beautiful HRD. One of the most prolific bikes of BSA, sidecar attached, out on patrol and posing for a picture for his mum. Designed to pull your shoulders back, and bigger than Sergeant Nickerson's lunchbox, one of the first portable radio packs. The boys didn't have it all their own way. It's 1928, and WPC Cheltenham is seen here riding her own bike. It's no good volunteering to be a police motorcyclist and expecting to be a fair weather rider. You have to be a masochist as far as the weather's concerned. 1.5 inches of snow, finger and toe ends gone numb, 4 hours to the next cup of tea. Great, who's going to argue? Never volunteer, he was told, but promised a streamlined, sleek Italian job. The temptation was too much. Motorcycles and the officers who ride them have played an important part in the history of mechanised policing. They still have an important role within the complexities of a modern police service. Like many other forces, the Humberside Police is committed to the use of motorcycles, at least for the foreseeable future. The county of Humberside covers from Bridlington in the north down to Grimsby and Cleethorpes in the south, and to the west spreads out just short of York and Doncaster. The Humberside Police Motorcycle Section patrols all of the county's roads apart from the motorways. They are high profile and can get to locations quickly and efficiently. PC Rocks and Green are covering the villages on the south bank of the Humber. Their last call is Barton. They're on the lookout for a stolen motorcycle which has been circulated to them by Force Radio. Approximately 2,500 motorcycles are stolen each year in Humberside, many broken up for spares. It is definitely worth spending money on good additional security measures. They will shortly be making their way to the north bank of the Humber to go off duty. Police motorcyclists work in all weathers. The only time they're not on the road is when it is snowing, there is ice on the road, or when wind speeds are extremely high. It is no good whinging to the sergeant that it's pouring down with rain, because at the excuse of a pun, he will say, "On your bike." Today, however, it is brilliant sunshine, and not a drop of... I won't say it. It might just tempt Providence. All of the Humberside Police motorcyclists are advanced car drivers, and may be required to cover a car patrol at short notice. And many have other specialist skills.
Hello, Mark.
Hello.
Mark's from the Humberside Police Motorcycle Section, and they work from Hessel Police Station. How many motorcyclists are there in the bike section?
We have 18 in total, 1 inspector, 1 sergeant and 16 PCs.
I take it you're keen motorcyclists?
Yes, I think we must be to ride these in all weathers.
Have you got a bike of your own?
Yes, Honda CBR 600.
And how does that compare with this?
You can't compare the two at all. Mine's a lightweight sports tourer, quite quick. These are quite heavy, especially through towns and in traffic. It's a delight to ride for 8 hours a day, plenty of weather protection.
What advantages has a motorcycle got over a car?
Plenty of advantages. The main thing is accessibility. Obviously, if we attend an accident, invariably there's a backlog of traffic. We can get through, hopefully, where the car can't.
I take it you see quite a lot of sights then?
Yes, we attend a lot of accidents. Obviously, we don't know until we get there quite what we're going to see. Sometimes it's horrific, sometimes it's very, very minor.
I see that the leathers that you're wearing are pretty heavy, Mark.
Yes, we wear full leathers during summer and winter. Jacket, trousers, gloves and boots for our protection.
Do you not find them a bit warm in the summer?
Very, very uncomfortable in the warmth, but there again, so's gravel rash.
We've all had some of that from time to time, haven't we?
I haven't yet, touch wood.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
You must be one of the lucky ones then.
Yes.
What is the worst job that you have to do?
I think it's got to be attending accidents. We don't know until we get there quite what we're going to see. Worse than that is knocking on the door to tell someone that their beloved's been killed. They always know the moment we knock on the door what we're going to say before we actually say it.
I'm sure that's a job that I wouldn't like to do.
You can never get used to it.
I'm sure that you can't. Apart from dealing with accidents, what other jobs do you have to do in the motorbike section, Mark?
We do the same rules as any other policeman. We attend burglaries, we attend crime. We play the same roles the traffic cars do in attending accidents. Our other function is things like royal visits and escorts that we do.
So that must be a very specialist role altogether.
It's a totally specialist role as a royal visit, very rewarding on the day when it comes right.
You must have to practice a lot for that.
We do train a lot throughout the year. We have 2 one-week courses, and we have a training day for each visit that we do.
You must be pretty dedicated.
We enjoy it.
Okay, thank you very much, Mark.
Thank you.
All police motorcyclists are trained to police advanced standards. Training is intensive both on and off the road. Manoeuvrability skills are honed up at the beginning of the course before the on-road work starts. This bike has been specially developed in order that the rider's skills can be tested on a skid pan. Instructor PC Swift demonstrates the correct technique. I think he enjoys it. This Army off-road course is used to test the rider's ability and determination in overcoming a few problems. It is guaranteed to leave a lasting reminder of feeling very wet and very cold. Being bogged down and stuck in the mud is a long way from riding that shiny police bike. Passing the Advanced Police Motorcycle course allows those that have to enter a culture of bikers that are also dedicated policemen who preach safety on the roads. Not a day goes by without having to attend an accident somewhere in the county. Motorcyclists are particularly vulnerable. You can't fall off a car. In the past, motorcyclists have always been prominent on the casualty statistics. Recently, though, that trend has reversed. Proper, structured training leading to improved awareness and rider skills have made a difference. Clothing made of the correct materials and padded in the right places can protect against a broken limb. A helmet that fits properly will offer some protection against a broken head. But, for the most part though, it is your riding skills that are going to keep you upright. One cause of accidents that we can prevent is poor vehicle maintenance. Let's join the motorcycle section at this roadside check. Take this blue car. It must have been a long time since the tyres were checked. Same check, but another car. Again, evidence of poor maintenance. The front offside tyre down to the cords and well shredded. The front valance rotted right through. And just for good luck, the rear offside tyre also bowled and illegal. This blue van was in very poor condition and about ready for the scrapyard. The battery was just not secured at all. The brake pipes were loose and not fixed in place. Worse still, and a bit of a nightmare, was the chassis and steering. The rot was so bad, the chassis had separated from the steering. Directional control must have been very vague. Taking vehicles like this off the road makes these checks worthwhile. The floor section was also corroded, and had rotted right through. The motorcycle section worked with many other agencies, including Health and Safety and the Department of Transport. On this goods vehicle check, they were examining tankers and vehicles carrying hazardous substances. This vehicle was prohibited from travelling any further. The rear part of the chassis was almost broken in half and not far from breaking away altogether. You can see where the chassis is separated vertically in line with the pen and horizontally to the upper right. The fracture extends right through to the other side. This pickup was carrying drums that quite clearly contain a hazardous substance for quarantine. Some of the drums are severely corroded and are definitely not suitable for carrying hazardous substances. If we put the side panel down, it is quite clear that the drums are leaking. These drums should never have been put on the vehicle in this poor condition. The drums will need to be dealt with by specialists who can dispose of the drums safely and properly. Being pulled isn't the happiest event in someone's life, but a tweak or two over the limit and your mind on other matters, and the next thing is you've got a mobile light show behind you. Better than our kids' disco. Just a warning on this occasion, and the back tyre will soon need replacing. The speed limit is 40 miles an hour along this road, as if you didn't know. He always wondered what was inside those panniers. Surprise, surprise, it's a Dragar breath test unit. Over 1,200 people lose their licences each year in Humberside alone, through drink driving. Some lose a lot more than their licence. Having your faculties is important if you're driving a car on the road. If you're riding a motorcycle, you've got to be one step ahead. Bikes and drink just don't go together. Few people are teetotal, so leave your bike at home if you're going to drink. Stone cold sober, negative, so he's on his way. Royal visitors and other high-profile VIPs to the county put pressure on the manpower of the police. To offer a safe, uninterrupted passage through the county would mean manning every junction along the route. In order to minimise the effect on manpower, the Police Motorcycle Section operate a mobile VIP escort unit. These officers work together with the VIP protection unit, covering junctions as the VIP unit passes, then leapfrogging forward to cover further junctions once the escort has passed. 6 motorcyclists can completely cover a route, achieving tremendous savings on resources and manpower. The Skelton Cycle Race is the event of the year as far as cyclists in Humberside and the surrounding counties are concerned. Again, police motorcyclists escort the competitors through the county, blocking off junctions and keeping the road clear of traffic as the cyclists pass. They use the same leapfrog method to cover the junctions, continually moving forward all the time. Disruption to traffic using this method is minimal when compared to traditional methods, which, in comparison, are very manpower intensive. Only 6 motorcyclists are required to cover a complete route of 60 or more miles. The cyclists are seen here moving off from Beverley at the start of the event. As you see, there is very little disruption. One of the motorcyclists, PC Clark, is out in a patrol car with 2 of his colleagues. They're on bikes, and between them, they are guiding an abnormal load from Gould towards the M62. It is important that they move traffic into a position well clear of the load. A normal fully loaded lorry would weigh a maximum of 38 tonnes including its load and be about 50 feet long. This monster weighs over 400 tonnes and is nearly 200 feet long. One vehicle is pulling and another pushing. The load itself is a giant transformer. It's a really tight squeeze out of this junction. Everything steers independently. The motorcyclists are very experienced at escorting abnormal loads and judging the amount of road they require to travel safely. They escort thousands of abnormal loads during the course of a year. Within a matter of just a few minutes, the load has negotiated its way out of the junction and it's on its way along the main road. It's not all riding bikes. When they get back to the office, there are reports to complete, statements to write, and accident files to submit. A pen and a spare one are essential pieces of equipment. PC Sampson and Kipper Dines are in the middle of writing their reports. Kipper Dines. Why is he called Kipper? Well, he was knocked off his bike in a spectacular way a couple of years ago. He was minding his own business, escorting a charity walk across the Humber Bridge, when a lorry load of fish burst out of a container lorry and landed on him, knocking him off his bike. Each of those skips contained half a ton of fish, and one landed right on top of him. He was more than a bit bruised. Anyway, the boys clubbed together and bought him a card and a bag of fisherman's friends just to cheer him up. The role of the Humberside Police Motorcycle Section is multifaceted. I can only give you a glimpse of the work they do. Many spend a lot of their own time working for the police and the safety of the people of Humberside.